Cleaner, which would be the easier to build in ancient Egypt? This is a great question. Because I don't know. A vacuum takes like a motor. I don't think I can make a motor. I feel like I can make LEDs though. Which one would be cooler to have at a party? Back in ancient Egypt, y'all think like a... That'd be so stupid. Let's just hop it in.
If you were sent back to ancient Egypt and had to build a vacuum cleaner or a neon sign before you could come back, which would you choose? One is a glass tube filled with electrified gas. The other...
What? Wait, hold on. Hold on. Yeah, I don't see anything that says gas. I see an LED sign is primarily made from acrylic or silicone tubing. The house with small LEDs mounted on a durable backing panel, like acrylic, steel, or wood. I don't see anything.
An electric motor housed in a tiny box. Since you're not here and Fred is, we're gonna send him back in time instead of you and force him to build each of these common modern day gadgets in ancient Egypt before he can come back and enjoy another In-N-Out burger. So let's go see which process will steal more of Fred's sanity. He'll start with the neon flamingo, which is guaranteed to make any ancient party 2 times more.
Oh, 2 times? Hold on. 2 times? Dude, that's like 8 times better. If I was a little pharaoh and one of my jits walked in with a neon sign and plugged it into a wall, first of all, wouldn't happen because they didn't have outlets. But like, bro, what?
First up, he's gonna need some glass.
Why is this a video? Like, why did this guy think, oh yeah, let's make the hypothetical neon sign versus a fucking vacuum cleaner? What?
Where were the ancient Egyptians on a glass-making scale? I'd say right about here. Glass making was in its infancy. Now, glass is made from sand, which the Egyptians were no strangers to. But all sand is not created equal. The materials the Egyptians used made their glass opaque, cloudy, non-transparent, non-see-through. Too many impurities. But Fred can use their glass-making technique. He'll just have to include about 8...
Mild take here. I did not know that there were different types of glass. Do I even have my... Oh, yeah. I did not know that different sand gave you different glass.
Glass won't be crystal clear by today's standards, but good enough for a 3,000-year-old handmade neon flamingo. Isolating quartz from the rest of the sand grains, just like everything else back then, has to be done manually. However, you can find bigger chunks of quartz around, plus, the shores of the Red Sea, right next to them, was blessed with more than its fair share of quartz per other sand particles. So, since we're not recreating the...
I'm being so for... What in the world is that? Being so for... I don't know what he's saying. He's kind of just speaking like Spanish to me right now. I don't know what's going on with him.
It's difficult to gather up the amount of quartz needed. The melting point will still be extremely high though, so we'll have to create some bigger bellows than they were used to back then, but not a huge deal. How do you get glass in the form of a hollow tube though, you ask?
That's a great question.
That's where the Egyptians already have us covered. They used a core forming technique to make stuff like perfume bottles, where they basically formed dirt and clay.
They had perfume bottles before, like GTA 1. They had perfume bottles before LED signs. What? No, I'm just playing.
Into whatever shape they wanted, dipped it in molten glass, and once it solidified, they scraped the dirt and clay out. Fred will make the tube in sections like that, then try to melt each section together with some added beeswax and resin to seal it nicely.
I would not have even thought about that.
It won't be pretty, but it'll have that artisanal, I made this while dodging scorpions charm. The color of the neon light will depend on the gas used. Argon, for example, is purple, helium is pinkish red, and neon is orangish yellow. Fred can't go with his favorite orangish yellow color though. He's got to be pragmatic about this. He wants the gas that's easiest to get and isn't electrically expensive, so he'll go with mercury vapor, which is a cool blue color. It's toxic, but Fred's from the future.
I also did not... So, wait, hold on. So my lights right now are chlorine? What?
So he's not going to pull an Isaac Newton. To get the mercury vapor, Fred will heat up some cinnamon.
Quick question, chat. Which flavor do we do? We doing dub sauce? We doing blatant orange? Or are we doing Japanese yuzu? Low key, these two kind of taste the same. So, and I already had the I already had this one today. So I think we gotta go with chainsaw, man. Make sure, in case you guys never mind. In case if you guys ever do buy some Dubby from Dubby.gg, make sure to use code Wandy. That's WANDY. Cheers, governor. Please let me know.
Currently sluggish. It takes a lot to get it excited. Hey, you want to go for a
What did I just tap back on?
bar with iron in a sealed container to trap the gas. Gas is inherently sluggish. It takes a lot to get it excited.
Hey, you want to go for a walk?
Nah, I'm good.
You want to go to Raging Waters?
Nah,
You want to go on a free 14-day all-inclusive vacation to the Maldives?
I'm just gonna take a nap.
You know this is why we can't have nice things.
Oh, come on, bang. Zero of which are particularly easy. Creating a generator out of a water wheel, coil of wire, and weak natural magnet wouldn't get us the voltage mercury vapor requires. One workaround is Fred could create some voltaic pile batteries. Only problem is some, in this case, equals 1000, which would take Fred's sanity all the way down to 0. Not good. Fred could also build a transformer, but this would require an immense amount of wire as he'd need many tens of thousands of turns of wire in a coil to get the necessary voltage. That ain't happening either.
What? I'm so confused. I'm like 80% lost right now.
They were the earliest and most simple batteries, and the good news is they can store a lot of voltage. The downside is it's released all at once. Because they're more like grenades instead of batteries, Fred needs multiple jars, connecting one jar at a time to the neon tube. As the wheel turns, it'll discharge jars in sequence, creating a quick strobing effect that'll appear continuous to the eye, hopefully. Probably
No way. That's so cool.
the most time-consuming part of all of this will be making all the wire. Even though they had... Oh, wait, hold up. This'll just take a couple seconds, fellas.
Oh my gosh.
We gotta wait for people...
Oh. Wrong one. Gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All that just went in my eye. Oh. My fault, chat.
like and subscribe and stuff. Okay, so even though they had metal wire back then for things like jewelry, creating it in bulk and insulating it will be pretty difficult and time consuming. But Fred's got Egyptian helpers, and as we know, the Egyptians
Which one do y'all think that you could do first? Build a vacuum or LED sign? I think I could probably do the vacuum first. I feel like the vacuum would just be kind of easier.
never back down from a mega project. Now Fred is a genius who tinkers with stuff like this in his spare time, all the time. So he built this light as fast as any mortal could. It took him 6 months, and his sanity went from a respectable 88 down to 59. After a little Mediterranean vacay, he's ready to start on the vacuum. For the vacuum, Fred could go the easy route and create a man-powered bellows suction-y gizmo.
I was thinking of the exact same thing. I wouldn't need like a Roomba. But having something like that, bro, I'd be golden.
But we're not letting Fred off the hook that easy. We demand something more resembling a modern vacuum. He can make the house
Okay, fine.
of the vacuum out of wood and beeswax, and he can use linen for the filter, and the easy parts are over. Gather the supplies to magnetize the electrons clockwise through wire of the right size, Betty Davis eyes. He'll reuse the water wheel generator from the neon light with a few modifications. For the magnet at the generator, he'll need to find magnetite, which is a common mineral. Yay! But very rarely can you find it in the wild pre-magnetized, which is called lodestone for some reason.
Hold on. Use intense heat to magnetize magnetite. Say that 8 times fast. You can damn. You can use intense heat in a magnetic field. Or lightning. Whoa.
Copper wire to some magnetite, then making Zeus angry, which should magnetize it into lodestone. Once he has that, an electric generator is simple enough in concept to build. A vacuum uses way less volts than a neon light, but a
100%.
lot more amps. But a 6-foot diameter water wheel with thick copper wire should be able to deliver this. It'll be a bulky, heavy vacuum, but to someone who builds pyramids for a living, it's portable. And it won't win any suction awards, but it'll be enough to get those imported Persian rugs a little cleaner. So which was more difficult? Well, the neon flamingo fried Fred's brain while the vacuum cleaner crushed his soul. The main factors being the carousel of Leyden
so
jars and
confused.
trapped vapor needed for the neon light. The vacuum only took his sanity down to 67 in a mere 5 months. So now you know which to choose next time someone's holding a time machine to your head.
Neon light or vacuum, punk.
We don't float away from the Earth because a natural downward motion is keeping us here.
W video, I guess. I don't think I'm that smart though.
Land side fly, can't stop, won't stop, hit the skyline while everybody else flies, cause I'm down right.